This is how Jin Ping Mei is read. Chapter 5 of the embroidered portrait book. Brother Yun makes a plan to catch the adulterer and drinks poisonous medicine to Wu Dielang. 1. The word qi. The story of Brother Yun's appearance was left out in the last review. Although this was for the convenience of narrative, it also has to be blamed on the narrative arrangement of ancient storytellers. Storytelling in ancient times was a hard profession, selling the art of eloquence and earning money for tea. So storytelling was usually half told and half hidden. A climax cannot end immediately, and an ending cannot end directly. A new element must be introduced to whet the appetite for tomorrow's story. After the climax of Shiguang, the focus will turn to the exposure of the affair. That is, it was discovered by Wuhan University, so they first arranged for Brother Yun to cause trouble. If the trouble failed, he could go to Wuhan University to snitch. Brother Yun was only a teenager because his family was poor. He often had to ask Simon King to help him with some expenses. This time, he was short of money, so someone suggested that it would be more convenient to go to Simon King. Obviously, even if Simon King is a bad guy, he is very kind to Brother Yun. Even if Brother Yun is not grateful, there is no reason for betrayal. However, when Brother Yun had an affair at Simon King tea house, Brother Yun was blocked by Wang Po in his pursuit of convenience. He went to Wuhan University to report the matter in anger, with the purpose of definitely ruining your Wang Po's appearance and making you no money. If the target of the report was Wu Song, then Simon King might have lost his life on the spot regardless of Po Wang. Brother Yun will not earn much, but this little man Yu Yuli almost sold Simon King miserably. Note that the embroidery book made a special irony here, adding the words Brother Yun's righteous indignation to the title. Brother Yun came to Wu Die. As the saying goes, it is better to recruit a general than to provoke him. Wu Die was so angry by him that he was so angry that he immediately went to catch the traitor desperately, forgetting all Wu Song's sincere explanations before leaving. In fact, it is not that Wuhan University has never seen Zhang Dahuan end out of his courtyard. He originally did not have much ownership rights over this cooking cake that fell from the sky, and the woman who was given as a free gift. However, in front of Brother Yun, an underage brat, but he has to pretend to be fat. I've been mentally disturbed for the past 2 days. I don't want to be happy when I see you. I have some doubts in my heart. So that's right. It should be noted that the phrase "don't be happy" does not appear in water margin. Purely a masterpiece of Jin Ping Mei. When readers reach this point in the book, they will inevitably laugh out loud, not wanting to think that even a weak person like Wu Die will fall into the problem of saving face. However, while hiding the book, they will inevitably feel sad and sympathetic. If Wu Dalian does not have such self-esteem, maybe you can still live an ignoble existence. Wuhan University was filled with anger and excitement, and with the help of his pig-like teammate, Brother Yun, he went to catch the traitor, and tragedy happened. Faced with being caught, Mrs. Wang shouted loudly. Pan Jinlian hurriedly blocked the door. And Simon King's behavior was very interesting. He hid under the bed all of a sudden. Is Simon King timid? No, Simon King didn't even frown when he killed Wu Die with arsenic. So why was Simon King afraid of Wu Die when Wang Po called out? No, Simon King was not afraid of Wu Daling. What he was afraid of was the husband's power represented by Wu Daling. You must know that according to the law at that time, killing adulterers was not only not illegal, but also rewarded by the government. Pan Jinlian can't care about this anymore. The matter has reached this point. There are only 2 choices. Do you wait for him to come or run away on your own? Can't you run away? Simon King reacted instantly, launched a vicious move, and rushed out the door. Wu Die, who was lying in bed in agony after being injured, came to Pan Jinlian and proposed what he thought was a humiliating solution. He would suffer the loss of being dumb, acquiesced in their affair, and did not tell Wu Song, just hoping that Pan Jinlian could take care of him and be safe, recover. Otherwise, wait for Wu Song to come back and take revenge. In the eyes of outsiders, this is a coercion and inducement of stick and corn. This cuckold has completely destroyed his chi and dignity. However, in Wang Po's opinion, this is not the case at all. They were all completely angry by Juju's threat. Jin Ping commented bluntly on this, "The few words are wonderful, but Wu Die died due to these few words." Why? Because Wuhan University and stupid chess players often make the same mistake, pure wishful thinking. If this matter is viewed from the perspective of Simon King and Pan Jinlian, choice 1, break up. This is not good. Choice 2, break up briefly and have an affair in the future when Wu Song is away. This is also very painful and too risky, because no one can guarantee that Wuhan University will not regret it. If it does, the consequences will be too serious. Choice 3, betray Wu Die and kill him so that Wu Song has no chance to find out, and they can be a long-term couple. But it is also a very difficult choice to be saddled with a murder case. It can be said that Simon King and Pan Jinlian vacillated between morality, lust, and sin. However, from Wang Po's perspective, it's a completely different story. Choice 1, break up. Wang Po has already received 10 taels of silver, which is barely acceptable. Option 2, break up briefly. There is no benefit to Mrs. Wang, but the risk is too great. If Wu Die goes back on his word in the future, Wu Song knows it. Because Wu Die is present, Pan Jinlian may not be punished, and Simon King and Wu Song probably can't do anything. But Wang Po herself, she is the weakest in this united front. A member of Choice 3, kill and silence. There is no turning back for everyone in the same evil boat. The risk to Wang Po will not be greater than that of option 2, but the benefits may be huge. For a beauty like Pan Jinlian, the author certainly didn't let Simon King give up. So for Wang Po, Wu Die's death is definitely a good thing that has more advantages than disadvantages, and everyone is happy. Therefore, Wuhan University's self-satisfied threat became a reminder that he did not understand until his death. This is qi, the qi of wine, sex and wealth. Wu Da's death was a result of Wang Po's trick, golden lotus hand, and Simon medicine. And it was also a small combination of wine, sex, and wealth. The wine was the affair between Simon King and Pan Jinlian, and it was also the wine that Wu Die and Brother Yun combined. The sex was the color of Simon King too, and it was also the sex sold by Pan Jinlian. The wealth was Simon King Hua's wealth, and it was also the wealth that Wang Po was greedy for. The anger is the anger of Wuhan University for being humiliated, and the anger of other people who are fearful and violent. The meeting of gold and jade under the curtain is a sinful opportunity. Brother Yun's excitement is the fuse of murder. Wuhan University has low self-esteem, stupidity, and ignorance, which is the reason for the tragic death. 2. The word good. I remember that on the first day Pan Jinlian came back from making a trout for Grandma Wang. She had some wine. Wu Die felt that neighbors should help each other, and it was unworthy of sharing the benefits of wine and meat. So they asked her to bring some money to subsidize Grandma Wang. It took 2 days of going back and forth, and Pan Jinlian cheated on her on the 3rd day. Wuhan University is pitiful. Moreover, Wuhan University is actually very kind. He does not want to take advantage of his neighbors even if it is a little bit advantageous. However, it is this kindness that brings the tragedy of his life. Is kindness wrong? As mentioned before, Wuhan University felt proud of his wife in front of Brother Yun, and went to catch the traitor and avenge him for his own pride. Is his pride wrong? I think there is nothing wrong with kindness, and there is nothing wrong with self-respect. Honest people are always bullied, and it is always a false proposition that good people are bullied. Self-respect is respect for one's own life and personality, and kindness is respect for other people's lives and personality. This is not only right, but also very right. So, why are self-respecting people often insulted and kind people bullied? That's because these victims also have other problems, such as being weak. Some justice will never be able to defeat evil, because being weak is weak. The Indians can't regain their America. Wu Daling can never defeat Simon King in a single fight. And there are other examples. Stupid. Mr. Dongguo doesn't understand the nature of wolves. Wu Die doesn't understand that every man is not guilty, but he is guilty of carrying a jade. He should know that such a beautiful wife is not something he can control, and he should also know how much jealousy and hatred there is behind this superficial vanity. For example, He lacks self-awareness. A small insect cannot shake a big tree. And Wuhan University has never evaluated the power comparison between itself and Simon King. Didn't his proud Dutu brother promise to protect him? If novel authors occasionally focus on these inconspicuous little people and tragic little people, then they may be saying that whether kindness or self-esteem, they all need the protection of strength and wisdom. Without these, kindness and self-esteem will become false propositions. For people like Wuhan University, perhaps they should not be kind, but be more sneaky, and should not be self-respecting, but be more submissive. This is the tenacious way of survival. When we compare the character of Han Daoguo later, we will understand this more clearly. Point 3. The word desire. Although Wu Die was killed by Pan Jinlian himself, we still feel that Wang Po was the culprit of the whole thing. If the very light script of plotting to design other people's wives and assisting others in having affairs has some aesthetic value, then the murderous plan that is pulled out of the blue without thinking can only be creepy. The ending of Shifeng Wang's plan is, "Why do you thank me? But don't forget to promise me the 10 taels of silver." The ending of the successful affair arrangement is, "Don't break your promises." The ending of the plan to poison Wuhan University is, "Things. When the time comes, you have to thank me profusely and never forget the word money from beginning to end." For money, this dying old woman could kill Wu Die, who had nothing to do with her, without mercy or hesitation. To compare, when Simon King was caught having an affair, there was still a trace of fear. Pan Jinlian was ruthless in his murderous attack, but the moment Wu Die died, Pan Jinlian was also afraid. His hands and feet were weak. Then it should be her great fear, an uneasiness about death and the unknown world, which can also be said to be her moral bottom line. However, after Wang Po died in Wuhan University, she came over to clean up the body, burn it clean with a fire. Extremely simple, extremely calm. Every word is chillingly cruel. Perhaps in Wang Po's heart, there is no fear. She doesn't care about morality, evil, death, even hell, gods, etc. She seems to not belong to this sentient world, but a yaksha from hell. Regarding Wang Po's poisoning plan, there is a poem commenting on it in the Qihua book. The clouds and rain are both prepared, and the love is obsessed with flowers and refuses to give up. After all, there is such a thing in the world, and Wu Die's body has lost its pink head. But in the portrait book, the last two sentences were revised too. After all, life is in vain. Why bother to commit murder? The rewriter of the embroidery version may have said that money or love for sex are nothing more than the desire of money and sex. Just as the Diamond Sutra quoted in the first chapter is like bubbles in dreams, like dew and like lightning. Even if Pan Jinlian has strong pain and desire to get rid of marriage, even if Simon King has a strong lust for control, even if Wang Po has a strong desire for money, life is actually very short, and everything in life will not be brought to death. Go, why would you plot such a vicious plan and commit such a crime? Desire is something that is innate and follows every creature. The plum in the golden lotus begins with Pan Jinlian seducing Wu Song, and ends with Wu Yunyang dreaming of Yan Lishu. It is a painful struggle of desires, so much so that some scholars simply said that The Plum in the Golden Lotus is a book about the desires of life. However, what are they fighting for in the romance of the Three Kingdoms? Isn't the desire for power the biggest desire? In A Dream of Red Mansions, are your heart and my heart among adolescent children not desires? Schopenhauer pessimistically said that life is a mass of desires. If desires are not satisfied, there will be pain, and if desires are satisfied, there will be boredom. Life will swing between pain and boredom. If you are not satisfied, you will be like Jia Rui, who indulged himself to death in Fengyu Baojian for Sister Feng. If you are satisfied, you will feel bored and constantly pursue new desires. Just like Simon King and Feng Yuechang, who will eventually fall into extreme indulgence and lust is like ashes and smoke. Those who are addicted to desires have shallow secrets. It is not that they cannot know themselves, but they are trapped in the confusion of desires and cannot extricate themselves. In the face of infinite desires, limited morality and law seem to pale and powerless. Is there a third way out of pain and boredom? If desire floods, you can only control the water by blocking it instead of dredging it. Desire cannot be finally satisfied and can only be eliminated in a religious sense. There is nothing in the first place, so there will be no dust. If desire is possession, this kind of dissolution is non-possession. Faust takes the universal love as the end point of desire, which means non-possession of the world, which is a chivalrous spirit. In A Dream of Red Mansions, Jia Baoyu repays all women with pure appreciation. His deep affection, as light as water, is a non-possession of emotions and a spirit of fraternity. Perhaps this is the only way to control desires. Only by understanding desire and understanding human nature can we become the master of desire. At this level, I think moral preaching alone may be far less meaningful than literature and art. Returning to Jin Ping Mei, has the author or the rewriter of the portrait version solved the topic of desire? No, it can't be solved, but he sketched a world full of pure desires for us, just like the world you and I live in. With the help of Buddhist scriptures, he hopes to give a simple comfort to all the people who are indulged in the world of desires, through dreams and bubbles. And reminder, it can be regarded as an expression of wisdom.
Alright, this part of the story ends here.
Want to know what happened next? Let's listen to the breakdown next time.